In today's episode, Kim asks, what advice would you give to persuade my CEO not to buy an email list? Well, there's a whole bunch of reasons. There are the legal liabilities of violating GDPR and CCPA and the CAN-SPAM Act and the CASL legislation in a variety of different countries. And if your company has any international exposure or any exposure in the state of California, you risk being sued. And I would hope that that's pretty obviously bad. More than that, there are technological reasons for not doing list buys. And by list buy, we mean going to a list broker and saying, I want a list of 20,000 emails that meet these criteria, and they just give you a big pile of emails. Very often, the quality of those lists is not great. Right now, it is the middle of 2020. The quality of the lists is appallingly bad. One of the things, and there's a post over on the Trust Insights website, that has happened in the last 9 weeks is that 41 million people in the United States lost their jobs. What do you think is going to happen to that email list of managers and above at technology companies or whatever? Those lists are shot. There's going to be not a whole lot working on them. When you load a bad list into your email system and then you send an email to it, what happens is that you start sending out signals that you clearly got the list from artificial means. Most mail systems will track how many attempts you try to send to a mailbox that does not exist, right? So if blanket at gmail.com or blanket creditcare.com or whatever, if they bounce, meaning that the mail got to the server and the server's like, there's no mailbox by this name. And those companies or servers or services use blacklist reporting. Do that enough and you get put on a blacklist. And it may be temporary, it may be permanent. When that happens, any mail that comes from your company's domain is going to get rejected. It's going to get bounced out, and you may not be able to get through. So let's say, I'm just going to make something up here. Let's say that you've been corresponding with the VP of Marketing at FedEx, and you're nurturing them along. They're kind of interested in your services, and you buy an email list that's a whole bunch of FedEx addresses on it. You send it out. Now FedEx's anti-spam firewall says, hey, yourcompany.com seems like it's doing some pretty shady stuff. We're going to block you here because you're sent to a whole bunch of addresses that don't exist anymore. And the next time your salesperson goes to mail the VP of Marketing at FedEx, what happens? Your mail doesn't get through, and that sale is now dead. This is the consequence of using bad lists. Now, you could take a list that you bought and clean it and scrub it using any of the mail verification services out there. That will help to some degree, but it will also show you what a really bad investment that was, because you'll put in 100,000 names and you'll get 2,000 out. Like, oh, these are the only 2,000 that are still working. You're like, what did I pay for 100,000 names for if 98,000 of them are dead? You also don't know where people got those names. One of the challenges, again, if you take a list that you bought and you send a whole bunch of email to it, the worst thing somebody can do is to hit the "this is spam" button. Right? Report as spam in email or Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, or in Outlook or in Microsoft Exchange. When that happens, again, you get to put on the naughty list. And either your email does not go through, and you'll actually see this at the mail server level. The average end user, the average marketer won't see it, but your technology people, your IT people will see it. It will say something like, mail blocked by header-based sender list. Or it will say content resembles spam or things like that. No matter what it is, no matter what variation of the words it is, it will show that you've been bad, and that server is not accepting mail from you anymore if enough people report it as spam. especially for B2B marketers, this is a really big problem, right? Because if you get blocked from the entire domain, again, now none of your salespeople can communicate with anybody who works at that company because your domain has been blocked. And it doesn't take a rocket surgeon to realize you now have substantially hampered your ability to make sales. How do you reach then, the people you want, or how do you build your list? Do it the normal way. Do digital advertising to some download or white paper. Do co-registration events, partner events with non-competing companies. Buy Google ads for stuff, or YouTube ads, enticing people to sign up for your newsletter. And most of all, have email content that people desperately want and that they voluntarily sign up for and that they refer their friends to. And in doing so, at that point, you don't have to worry so much about where to get your list. You have to worry about creating great content all the time so that your list continues to grow. That's how you get around the list buying question. Now, if all you're sending out is promotional junk, you might want to rethink that. As a strategy, because any list you do buy will decay very quickly because people will be like, I don't want this. This is not what I signed up for. This is not interesting. The gold standard question to ask yourself is, if I did not work for this company, would I want this email? Now, if the answer is no, if you're honest with yourself, the answer is no, you gotta work to fix things up. Right? Make your email so compelling that even if you didn't work for that company, you would want that email. In fact, if you can get to the highest standard, the ideal is, would somebody else pay money for this email? If you can get to that point, you will have no questions about how do we grow our email list, right? Because your content is so good, people desperately want it and will ask you for it when it's missing. So, don't buy lists, and work to make your email better. If you have follow-up questions, leave them in the comments box below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.